behind the camera. We're NC Beer Guys. We promote NC Craft Beer online, NCBeerGuys.com. Welcome to another episode of NC Beer Buzz. I may have just found my place in the mountains. A wonderful couple of porch stream here at Blind Squirrel Brewery in Plumtree. I'm here with Will Young, one of the founding members of the family here, who owns and operates the Blind Squirrel Brewery at the Toe River Lodge.
You got it. You're on the money, honey.
I'm trying to figure out all the titles.
It's complicated. We're a complex group of
Well, there's a
individuals
brewery, there's a restaurant, there's event space.
Yes, sir.
And we are like everything to Plumtree, right here on this one little curve in Plumtree.
You got it. There's a lot of really unique history that happened here well before this community kind of shriveled up. And this building was built in 1919. Originally, that's the Vance General Store.
Okay.
The buildings that were planning to expand the brew house into were built in 1909 as the Tar Heel Mica Company. Now, this little route of 19E used to be the main route from Florida to Ohio. This little building across the street that was kind of starting to crack a little bit on the side there was actually the old tea room, and that's where old Henry Ford and Harvey Firestone used to stop there and have lunch. There was enough activity in this little community to support two major general stores. One over by the post office that was the Burleson General Store, and this one. So when 221 went in, it kind of bypassed this little valley, and the community started to shrivel up. So we bought this building back in '92 and have been rehabilitating it ever since. And finally, we're able to purchase the old Tar Heel Mica Company like 2 years ago, and have been kind of working on it since then.
But it in fact was a mica company until fairly recent time.
Until 2009. Correct.
So it may be old, but it was not dysfunctional or abandoned ever to speak of.
True. The last 10 years of operation, it turned into really more of a social club for the employees there.
Right.
It was a lot of people that had been working there for 40, 50 years. They were very old and didn't really have much else that they planned to do.
They didn't mind much mica.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't work very much. It was one of those things that the company the last few years they really just kind of plugged through because they wanted to get that 100 years of operation, which they did. They operated from 1909 to 2009. But in the heydays, back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, there were 3 shifts of 50 employees for each shift. They actually had a dam that was just below this building here that
on the Toe River.
Yeah, on the North Toe River, right here where we're at, where they had hydroelectric power to this facility down here, and they had a series of pulleys and straps that ran both the plant across the river and the plant right down here,
off of
the power of the river. Yep.
That's incredible.
So it was a really, really neat enterprise that we're thrilled that we could do something with that history. It's so sad when you see something like that just falls by the wayside, and it happens far too often. But we could have gone out and we could have built a building and put a brewery in it, and it would have cost us half as much as it has to renovate this space. It's just we didn't want to see that go by the wayside.
Right.
But,
and you're right here anyway next door.
Yeah, exactly.
So we are going to talk about we just had a great lunch here. And we won't get into a whole lot of lunch because this is a beer video after all. And we won't talk about the brewery. We don't have so much time. But if you get a chance to come up through Plumtree, make sure you stop here and try the food. It's excellent food. You can have some great beer while you're here.
Fridays and Saturdays from May through October, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then on Sundays for our brunch. Brunch is pretty much a reservation-based meal.
Okay.
So 10:30 a.m. until our last reservation, which is typically around 1. If you have a party of 6 or more, I would say to call us even on Friday and Saturday just to let us know. We might have an event, or we might be closed due to illness. We might all be iller than hell and decide to go to Boone for a movie.
That's right. We might have enough hope for that week. So let's talk about, did you originally plan to do brewery operations here or just a restaurant?
No, we didn't. Plans? What are plans?
Okay. So when you opened, it was not a brewery. You didn't have a brewery operational side.
No. It was originally when Mom and Dad bought the building and we started renovations. There were 3 years that we came up from South Carolina, from Greenville, South Carolina, just about every weekend. working on the place as a family.
To make something of it.
Just to make, you know, whether it was going to be a big house on the river or whatever it was going to be. And Dad had gotten tired of the concrete and construction business.
Okay.
And had a company down there with a couple of hundred people, and finally decided he was done with the city and wanted to move up here. So we did that, opened up original operations as a bed and breakfast and an outdoor outfitter store.
All right.
The outfitter store did not have the volume necessary to really drive that sort of retail business, but we phased through that and turned it into more of a gift shop. And then the restaurant opened 15 years ago.
Okay.
The winery opened 8 or 9 years ago. The brewery is 2 years old as of August.
Okay.
And so, you know, the brewery has really taken off for us, and you know, we're just feel extremely blessed that people have received our product in the way that they have.
And you've kind of caught the wave of the craft beer movement in general in North Carolina.
Exactly. And we're on the outskirts of you know, the Asheville community. We're only an hour and 10 minutes from Asheville.
Not far from Boone up the
Correct.
road, right?
Correct. Kind of in the middle of that. And so people that are adventuresome and looking to get away from the hustle and bustle and look for something unique and different, that's
something they've never had anywhere else.
Yep.
And can't get anywhere else.
Right.
The current products are not sold off-site.
They are. We have about 30 accounts that we maintain
and
wholesale.
Regional?
Yep, from bottle shops such as Peabody's over in Boone, Mellow Mushroom in Boone, Foggy Rock, Blowing Rock Market, Produce and Provisions, Bistro Roca, Linville Ridge.
And all that's done on a fairly small system now.
Yes, I mean everything is produced on a 3-barrel system. I mean we're brewing 4 or 5 days a week, you know. Weekly
and across a pretty wide breadth of styles.
Yes. I mean we try to. I mean it's not. We should probably maybe focus sometimes instead of trying to do too much. But at the same time, the culinary. You know, I was on the line for 14 years, so the culinary influence that you know I have from that kind of drives me to constantly want to try and do new things, and I don't want to get bored with it, and I don't want people that are enjoying what we're doing to get bored with it either.
But at the same time, you're building a brand, and you've got some flagships.
We do.
And some people want to know that they can come and get the same beer they've had and enjoy.
We hold on to like 6 of those.
Okay, 6 flagships.
Yep.
Okay.
We do. We've got the stout, we've got our IPA, we've got the Belgian triple, we've got the nut brown, we've got the pale ale, and we've got the cream ale.
Okay.
Yep. And those are the 6 that we pretty much always have on tap. There might be a time here and there where it just disappears, but that shouldn't happen once we get cranking over at the new facility.
Excellent segue. So we've operated here on this smaller system. What are the future, and when's that coming to be?
Sure.
We're going into the behind Dave, behind the camera, is the mica plant we were referenced earlier. We're going into the mica plant with a new brewery system.
Correct.
Size, capacity, talk about that.
Sure. I mean, we basically started off as home brewers and just moved that up in scale to the 3-barrel system that we have now. It's a system that we built ourselves. So we figured why do anything any different if it's working for us right now. We actually are going to be brewing on 4 3-barrel systems and going into a externally controlled room for temperature with 60 3-barrel fermenters, which seems a little bit absurd, but we'll have the ability to really just play around with the product, and you know we'll probably dedicate about 3/4 of those fermenters to just steady production, whereas about 25% of them are going to be for some of our one-offs and some of our other beers that are dedicated to the Defiant Squirrel series, which is the series of beers that we're going to be oaking with oak spirals from our friendly neighbors down at Blue Ridge Distillery who produce Defiant whiskey.
Keep it local.
We're excited about that product, and they're thrilled that we're here and we're going to be able to use their spirals. And I think that over the next couple of years, we really hope to delve into some of the more imperial styles, the bigger beers, and utilize some of that oaking for sure.
And so the Defiant series is a couple years off?
No, that series, you should see product from that series in about 6 months.
Okay.
You know, we're going to be moving into the new facility within about 6 weeks as far as production goes, which means that we should start seeing product from that facility in about 12 weeks. So after that happens, we'll have our feet wet and we'll start keeping a steady product of oak varieties rolling from the Defiant spirals. So
that's great. Listen, thanks so much for having us out today.
It's been an absolute
This
pleasure.
has been great.
Yeah. No, we're thrilled
You
to
just
have
don't know what a pleasure it's been and how peaceful it is here. It's a wonderful spot along the rail that you wouldn't necessarily know unless you knew it was here.
Yep.
So that's what we're about. Now you know it's here. You got no excuse. When you're riding through, stop at the Toe River Lodge and have a beer out of the Blind Squirrel Brewery. Until next time, we're the NC Beer Guys with another episode of NC Beer Buzz. Remember, from Plumtree, drink local and keep your beer dollars in North Carolina.
Cheers.